Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave. Had a little bit of technical issues right there that don't know what just happened, but my microphone just completely cut out. How's it going? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day tonight. Let's see, we've got Morath in the chat, and he brought bacon. Morath, you don't know this right now, but you and I are besties right now. Bacon is my weakness. Hillbilly Farmer, how's it going? Good evening, sir. Big Daddy Dave. Everybody loves bacon. How are you this evening? Hope everything is good. I am doing fantastic this evening. It's been a vastly majority great weekend with one small hiccup. I will go ahead and elaborate on that here in just a little while, but yeah, this one little hiccup sucks really bad. Really, really bad. But that's how good the weekend has been. So, really, really good. Going good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So, we're just going to wait a few more minutes to see who else joins us here tonight. And if you're out in the chat, go ahead and give yourself a shout out, say hi, and let me know that you're out there, because unfortunately, YouTube doesn't give me a roll call or anything like that. So I basically have to go by whoever pipes up and lets me know that they're there. Let's see. So I'm just checking a few things out in the back end, making sure that stream health is good. Everything's looking good on this end. Everything's in the green. Perfect. So we got a pretty busy night tonight. We've got a lot of things to do here at the farm. We've got a few things we got to do to be able to make some money around here. Ooh, speaking of which, I meant to accept that. There we go. Accept all the fertilizing contracts that you can, because ooh, you can make some good money with fertilizing. Let's see. Give it about 1 or 2 more minutes and we'll get the stream rocking and rolling here. Let's see. So Morath, how are you doing tonight? Let's see. Minimize that. Move that out of the way. Make sure everything is turned on, which it looks like it is. Oh, playing Bally Springs. Well, be on the lookout for another Bally Springs additional information video. Thankfully, one of my viewers has let it be known on how to find the deactivate the parked cars. We had been going back and forth for a couple of days now, and finally figured it out. So I'm going to be putting out one more additional information on Bally Springs. But oh man, is that just an amazing map. Here's the thing. Bally Springs was already cranked up to an 11 before the update. Once that update dropped, oh, it's like through the stratosphere. That one is the map to measure all maps against, in my opinion. Love that map. Absolutely love it. Figured it out yesterday and told Mr. Sealy P. Oh, see, there we go. There we go. Yeah, so I'm going to be making a video on that just specifically to show everybody, because I know there was at least 2 or 3 people that were messaging me back and forth asking me how, and I had no idea. No clue. I'd been wandering around that whole shop area for probably like 30, 40 minutes. It's like, it says to walk into the shop, turn right. Why am I not seeing this? Little did I know. Little did I know. Offensive amount of grass. Yes, that is the proper way to put it. An offensive amount. Love it. All right, so it is time. Let's get rocking and rolling. So what do we have going on here tonight? Well, like I said, we've got some contracts that need to be done. We're going to start on those. Then we're going to start working around the farm here, because we've got 1, nope, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, and 4 fields to mow. We got to mow them, and we got to put them all in the my little chemistry lab right over here. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to be doing tonight. And who knows? So, what the bloody heck was that? Oh, it was a cat. Holy smokes, that just scared the bejeebers out of me. So sorry about that. There is apparently a cat that's getting into a fight outside my house, and... Alright, Jack. Yeah, I know, you're a good boy. And now my dog is not happy about it. It's alright, bud. It's alright. Go ahead, lay down. So sorry about that. Wow, that scared me so badly. It was like that cat shriek that you hear whenever they're getting ready to fight. Whew, my goodness. Anyways, I don't know if that actually came through on the mic, because that was actually really loud. And oh, now it's my other dog in the window. Let's see. What was I? Oh, that's what I was doing. Why did I get into this? I got distracted. Heavily distracted. You did hear it. Okay, thankfully it wasn't just me. People are going to think I'm going nuts or something. Oh my goodness. I mean, which is certainly the case, but I mean, I don't want them to think I'm just hearing things. What a way to start a stream, right? We're not even, what, 5 minutes in, and we're already going right off the rails. We're starting this early. And there it is again. And it is driving my dogs absolutely nuts. It's alright, buddy. It's alright. Sunshine. Pretty girl, come here. Sunshine. Now I've got all my dogs staring out the window trying to figure out where it's coming from. Let's see. We'll buy up a whole bunch of fertilizer. Alright, so this first one here is field 29, then 41, then 113. So where is 29? That's way out in the main road. Then oh, I'll be right back, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how to take care of this. Okay, I think my dog went ahead and took care of it for me. She jumped at the window and I think they all took off. So, now that hopefully all the interruptions are out of the way, let's get this done. So, let's talk about what happened over the weekend. Had a very, very good weekend when everything's kind of taken into totality. Ended up spending a lot of time with the family, which was amazing. Did a lot of shopping, which anybody who knows me, I'm not a huge fan of, going out and about and going to the cities and stuff like that. I prefer to either stay at home or go get out into the country. Well, I mean, it was nice because my family was there. They make everything, infinitely better. But we ended up going to the city. We did a bunch of Christmas shopping and, it is what it is kind of thing. But while we were out and about, we got to let my daughter go run around and play, and she ended up going into all the little kids areas at the malls and all that stuff. So she had a ball, and it was just fun just letting her cut loose and have a good time. But after we'd gotten home from being out and about pretty much all morning yesterday, we were feeding my daughter lunch, and I was in the dining room with her, and I went to turn around to go grab something, and the way that my house is that the dining room connects to the kitchen, and the kitchen is just divided with a kind of entryway kind of thing. This little, it's not a doorway, but just a entryway. And as I turn around, I walk and smack my foot right in. Oops, I am driving right past where I need to go. But I end up smacking my foot right into the wall. I mean, just completely just blasted it right into it. Where do I need to go? Where's the entrance? No. Oh, it is down here. Okay. I'm about 92% positive that I broke my toe. I'm almost 100% positive. It's incredibly painful to move. It's swollen. I'm not going to say it's bright colored or anything like that. There's definitely some bruising, and there's a pretty good blood blister right on the tip of the toe. It's not the prettiest looking thing, unfortunately. And you never realize just how much you do an action until something hurts. What do I mean by this? Well, every time I go to kind of pivot off of my right foot and push off with that foot and move into the kind of leftward direction, the most searing pain, it is unbelievably painful. And I never realized until today just how much I pivot off of that foot. Because I'm typically right hand dominant, and my right side is the dominant side. So I tend to either, use my right side or push off with my right or whatever. Yeah, needless to say, I'm trying to remember, hey, something hurts. Don't do that. So yeah, that was the kind of bad on the whole weekend. But everything outside of that has just been absolutely fantastic. And like I said, it's been just spending tons of time with the family, going, Christmas shopping, getting all the stuff done, finally have everything done that we need to get done. And now we're just in like that kind of hurry up and wait for Christmas mode, which is always a good place to be. If you can get into that mode, the sooner the better, in my opinion, rather than sitting there scrambling right there towards the very end to get everything accomplished. Well, I've been finished up with my Christmas shopping probably, I don't know, a couple weeks now. My biggest thing that I look out for is my wife, and occasionally get a few things here and there for my daughter. But we tend to do a lot of our daughter shopping together, my wife and I. So it's not something I really much have to think of outside of, hey, what do you think we ought to get, kind of thing. But we tend to go and get it together, kind of thing. So really the only person I tend to worry about is her. So my Christmas is pretty easy. Her, on the other hand, I've mentioned this in the last live stream, she's got, let me think, 1, 2, 3 sisters, 2 brothers, a father, a stepmother, and just like all sorts of, like, she's got a big family, a pretty decent sized family. So she's wanting to, and we've got 2 nieces that are, they're up there in age, so we got to still, worry about them, getting them gifts. We've got my father, like that. It's just a whole bunch of people that she, puts herself on the front line for, to make sure that she thinks of every year. And yeah, like her Christmas and my Christmas are drastically different. So it's one of those that I'm just glad to be, kind of mellowed out and got all that stuff taken care of. Oh my goodness. But yeah, on top of all that being said and done with the Christmas shopping, the reason that it has been such a good weekend, on top of being out with family and doing all that, the kind of the cherry on the sundae kind of thing, is the channel has had the best, and I mean the best, performance it has had in a single day, bar none. This channel has existed for almost a year and a quarter, give or take. And yesterday was the best performance in every single measurable metric by far, by like a factor of 3. So, gonna throw some numbers out there real quick while I'm thinking of it. So, I left the page because I forgot. There we go. So, starting with views. My normal kind of on average views is somewhere in the realm of 700 to 1,000, maybe a little bit more depending on what's going on. That's typical. Yesterday, the channel got almost 3,000 views, more than 3 times the normal amount. Right now, the channel in the past 48 hours has gotten almost 5,000 views. It's actually over 5,000 views. Yesterday, we had 20 new subscribers to the channel. That, I mean, is just the best performance we've ever done, and it is solely on the back of the update video that we did for Valley Springs. That video went bonkers. Just absolutely bonkers. And I get it. That map is fantastic. I said it right at the beginning of the stream. I'm going to say it again. Absolutely fantastic map. That one. Why am I just sitting around in this vehicle? I don't know why I could be bouncing around. I don't have to just sit here and chat. Gotta get work done. Anyways. So yeah, it was incredible to see. It was like every time I came back to the analytics page, like something new was happening. And it was just one thing after another after another. Every time I came in, there was a new subscriber. Every time I came in, there was, 100 more views, 100 more views, just boom, 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 boom. And it was just incredible. And thank you all who have subscribed over the past couple of days, and just subscribe full sentence stop. It's incredible. I'm so happy that you're able to find the channel, and so happy to see that you made it here. It's just it was very overwhelming, and the amount of comments and feedback that we were getting just over the past couple of days was incredible. Just absolutely fantastic. I'm very, very pleased and very happy. So again, thank you all so very much. Let's see. So this one, what was this one? 41? Yeah, this is 41. How do I get out there? We're going to figure this out. I think if I get to the second, what is that? The pig farm, I think, is over there. If I get there and kind of go back in that direction, I think I'll make it out to it. Okay, so this is the main farm. Oh, it looks like we're done over at the other field. Nice. So yeah, like I said, it's one of those where between spending time with family, between spending time, and seeing just how well the channel has done over the past few days, is just incredible. And the momentum is kept up. Like we've gotten so many more subscribers today as well. Like, it's just incredible to see. And again, thank you all so very, very much, for checking out the channel. And ooh, can I get there from here? No. This way. Okay, so we can get there from here. A little bit weird way, but That is the cool thing about this map is, especially now that Cavalier Roy has gone ahead and um, changed up the hedges to make them to where you can't actually drive through them anymore. Um, you really have to learn these little routes all throughout these fields. It's really incredible. Um, to whereas before you could kind of sort of cheat your way through and cut through the hedges and whatnot. Um, Based on what Cavalier Roy was saying, though, uh, one of his testers made the suggestion of, hey, maybe we should, take away the ability to pass through them because it really doesn't make sense. It kind of defeats the purpose of even having them. So, and I don't disagree. I think that was a very uh, valid point kind of thing. Let me go back to, I just realized I don't have that up. There we go. But yeah, it was. Why does it keep changing like that? I don't know why it does that. But I thought it was a very valid point that Cavalier Roy brought up, for this map, and from what I understand, it's on all of his maps. That now you can't just drive through the hedges, kind of thing, and that it was specifically related to those little poles that are the in between the hedges there. Essentially, what the argument was is that you can come around and destroy the hedges by cutting down those tree trunks that are in the middle of each of these hedges. And it really doesn't make sense to have that ability to take them out if you can just pass through them. And it's like, yeah, that seems valid. That seems like a very valid critique. And hey, way to go on that tester. I think that was kind of a good thing. Because you're right. If you want to be able to hop through, any of these hedges, boom, just cut them down, and it's gone. Then you don't have the collision. You don't have anything like that, and it works out great. Let's see. Alright, just about ready for the end of this pass. Okay, let's go like so. Oh, actually. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Now we're talking. I should have turned that down a while ago. Alright, that's good. See, just check something real quick. Okay, so all I have is a baling contract after this. Alright, so hop in here. Perfect. Now we're talking. Gonna need one more pallet, aren't I? One more. There it is. Oops. And then this one is... Okay, 113 down the bottom right, and that's off the main road. Excellent. So yeah, like I said, it's one of those... I love fertilizing contracts, specifically because of these mods right here. These pallets, you can get 5,000 liters of product for $1,000. And the cool thing about it is that whatever you have left over in the leased equipment, and that's the thing, is you'll always see me, whenever it's a fertilizing contract, you'll always see me lease the equipment. I will never use my own equipment for fertilizing contracts. And that's because you get paid out for the product that you put into the equipment. So if you're buying all this fertilizer at $1,000 for 5,000 liters, and you get compensated, 3, 4, 5 times that amount. I mean, the only way you're getting compensated is by using the leased equipment, because essentially you're giving the fertilizer back to the farmer. So you're getting that little something extra at the end of the contract. So it's a nice little way to kind of pad out the contract. So just a little top tip. You'll see me do it here in just a second, once I'm done with this field. Well, actually finished with both the fields, because the other one's still going too. Let's see, the turn is right here, I think. Yep, there it is. And I've been doing a lot of these contracts. If you've seen the last episode that loaded up earlier today, number one, normally I don't do a live stream on the same day that I do an episode release. But I really wanted to get on and just kind of hang out tonight. It was just one of those where I wasn't going to have anything else on the docket kind of thing, anything else planned. So it was just one of those, really was just kind of looking to fill out my night kind of thing. But I also wanted to just continue to make progress, because I feel like I've made a ton of progress with that episode. So if you haven't seen that episode just yet, I'm not gonna sit here and spoil it for anybody, but quite a lot of stuff was done on that particular episode, and we ended up building up the farm quite a bit. And then once we get all this stuff taken care of, both the contracts and the mowing, then we'll really be rocking and rolling, because we're going to have a whole bunch of silage that we'll be able to send to the farm productions, my little chemistry lab. And then once we do that, we'll be able to then send it on down the line in the productions. So it works out really good. We've got ourselves set up very nicely now, and especially only being 6 episodes in. So like I said, I'm really happy with how, whoops, I just dropped something. I'm really happy with how things are turning out for this map, for being as early as we're in on things. There we go. Sorry, I had to take a little drink there. I was getting a little parched. Still have this kind of chest thing going on. I'm not quite sure what the story is with it, but in the last stream I mentioned how I keep getting these tickles in the back of my throat, and it's causing me to cough. Well, now it's kind of moved. Oh, Forge Farmer just subscribed. Hey, Forge Farmer, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Absolutely love it. Oh, and 41. That was the other one we just did? Yep. Oops. No, what am I doing? Do that. All right. We'll very quickly be able to collect on these contracts. But I'll elaborate more on what I was talking about. There we go. There's 113. All right. So you can see how, because I've leased all the equipment here, I'm getting that lease cost, $760, you got $895, $391. But you're getting that reimbursement, and that's because of all the lime the fertilizer that's left in the tubs here. So you look here, 13,000, 12,000, 12,000. That adds up. I mean, watch this. We're at $94,000. Boom, boom, boom. 147,000. Almost 50 grand. Not bad. Not bad at all. For 3 contracts. So now it's time. It's time to get to work around our farm, and this is where you're actually going to notice some kind of weirdities. Not weird, I shouldn't say weird. Some some different things that happen uh, when I mow the animal pastures. So what you're going to see, I come up to the gate area here, you can see down there's that kind of plowed texture. I went through and plowed all the fields on this map, and I was talking again with Cavalier Roy, and he had mentioned that the way that these fields work, these 3 fields here, is that they have the nav mesh that's over top of them. That nav mesh for the animals takes priority over anything else that's available for this field. Now, if I were to destroy these, pastures, these cow barns, sheep barn, and horse barn, well, then these just turn into normal fields. Not a big deal, kind of thing. But because I plowed these and then the nav mesh kind of takes priority over everything, it just regrows the grass instantly. That's part of the reason why I bought this field down here, field 21, is that this one now is kind of my flagship field that tells me, when this is ready to harvest, now I can harvest all of these, and I'm just keeping them in sync, kind of thing. But because I plowed everything underneath, if I come here, unfold, let me go ahead and close the gate. You'll see a new grass texture is starting to pop through over top of where I was mowing. So it's one of those, if I move off of it now, you can see all the grass that's being left behind, but now we have a new grass texture. It removes the plowed state that was there. But the reason I did it was in part because of the precision farming, but now you can see we're starting to get that positive gain for precision farming. So it's one of those that I kind of had to take a short-term hit to have now this big jump, because we were at like 50 as a score and now we're at 80. So yeah, it was, in my opinion, it's worth taking that short-term hit, because now when everything's said and done, we're gonna be pretty well off. So I'm pretty happy about that, and we get that kind of nice little grassed state that we had before, and I don't have to repaint or like retexture everything. It's just kind of done for me as I mow the grass. So all in all, I think it's going to be worth doing this on this map or any of the other maps, because I think Cavalier Roy's maps all kind of act similarly, because if there's a actual pasture underneath the nav mesh of your animals, then it's going to function similar. A good example, when I did my Let's Play series for, and this is where I actually learned that this was a thing, when I did my Let's Play series for the Valley of the Old Farm, I had plowed out the entire cow pasture thinking, oh, well, this is going to give me a ton of grass. I'll be able to come through and re-harvest this every single time and just work my way around the cows, and not a big deal, it'll work out great. Nope. Nope, it was a giant failure. I had to retexture everything, and for some reason it didn't function the same way as this map does in regards to filling in the grass texture underneath, even though I plowed it. It was just one of those, it refilled the grass, but it didn't take out the texture, so you always had this really dark looking ground state underneath, and it just looked really bad. So I ended up having to repaint and redo everything around that cow pasture to make it look like it was at least decent looking. But it was just one of those, it was expensive. It was a massively expensive mistake, something like $70,000-$80,000 mistake. Like, I actually had to take out a massive loan in order to correct that mistake. So I'm had to dig myself out of a pretty big hole that I created for myself because I didn't know that. So if I can save anybody from that mistake, you know, that was specifically the Valley Old Farm. This map is a little bit more forgiving, um, because like I mentioned, these are actual fields, to where what I was trying to do was to actually create a field within the nav mesh. But because these fields are already created, it kind of works a little bit differently than uh, some other maps will do. What I ought to do, because for some reason the nav mesh doesn't exist where that spot is, right here, I should fill in that one little area just so it's not just like missing. Alright, perfect. One of these days here, real soon, I need to invest in getting a new tractor around the farm, because having just this one tractor, I mean, don't get me wrong, this tractor is nice. It's been my little workhorse and is doing everything that I need it to do, but I need more. I need more equipment and need to be able to start kind of setting up jobs like one after what, where, why, how. Where do you think you're going there, little AI? I don't think you know what you're doing. You gotta love the AI. Jody, hey, how's it going, bud? How's your night going? Also, how's the family? How's everyone doing today? All right. So, anyways, like I was saying, I've got to figure out something uh, for my next tractor. Actually, speaking of which, oh yeah, that's nice. 77. That went from a 50 to a 77. I wanted to go. Yeah, of course, nothing. What? What are you doing? I'm so confused. What is this? What is the AI doing? What does it think it's doing? I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, it's acting. You know what it is? It's almost acting as if it's doing the stone picking or something. Like it doesn't recognize the job it's doing. I know what's wrong. I know why it's doing this. It's because of the ground state. The ground state underneath is plowed, so it doesn't recognize that there's grass. Watch, it's gonna go off to the right. No, wait. No, it is. Okay, it's just making a wide right. So yeah, that's exactly what's happening. I've got to do all these fields manually because of this. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, it'll save me some money. Oh my goodness. You just gotta love it. One of those it's funny. I'm subscribed to like several Facebook groups and whatnot, and it's all regarding like farming simulator and whatnot. And I've seen some hilarious memes regarding the AI and how it functions on FS22, and just FS in general. Um, and there was one where it showed a tractor that had just plowed itself right into the middle of a pond, and it gave the message, or on the in the top right hand corner where you would normally see the message in the game, like AI worker Q has finished their job, or has come to a stop or whatever. And I'm like, no. But it was like a real life photo. It wasn't just a, image from the game. It was like somebody made a genuine mistake in real life, and they just tagged that in there. Like, yeah, that's about right. Oh my goodness. Ow, that really hurt. Oh man. I tell you what, mm, if I move around in such a way, my toe just, yeah, it's not fun. Not fun at all. Holy cow. Let's see. Jody says, having a great night. Awesome, Jody. Glad to hear it. Yow. Man, is that smart. Holy cow. Jody ended up missing the riot that was going on outside of my house. Apparently, a couple of cats decided to get into it, and it was actually picked up on the audio. um, that scared the crap out of me. Holy smokes! When it was so loud, it actually got picked up over the mic. It just wild. So again, I wear headphones. So imagine how loud it was to be not only picked up, through glass, through my mic, but over top of my audio, that's directly over my ears. Like, yeah, it was loud. Family's doing pretty good. How's your family doing? Everybody's doing fantastic, bud. Fantastic. We ended up, well, pretty much the whole weekend. I was mentioning this earlier. We went out shopping, just did a bunch of Christmas shopping over the weekend. Got to spend a ton of time with each other. Ended up taking my daughter out to the local park earlier today. She had an absolute blast. She is getting too big though. Too big. One of those, she's starting to be able to climb up on the taller parts of the equipment all by herself. Oh my goodness, it's killing me. It's absolutely killing me because I'm just sitting there like, oh my goodness, she's gonna fall, and I'm just that internal struggle of being proud that she's growing and that she's accomplishing all these new things. It's just that internal battle. So there's that side of me, the proud side, and then there's the absolute manic, just going off. It's like, oh my god, oh yeah, like just kind of like hovering around her, just making sure, like trying to disengage that kind of helicopter mindset. No, it's fine, she's gonna be okay. If she falls, it's just gonna hurt, but it's hard. It's hard to allow your kids to get into situations where you know that there's the potential of them getting hurt. And she's almost 2. Like, she'll be 2 in February. So it's one of those, like, I've got to chill out on that. I've got to be able to let her, not get seriously hurt, but allow her to climb and run and play, and and there's always the potential of her getting hurt, but it's hard, especially when it's the first kid, and she was almost 10 years in the making, eventually going through IVF and all that. It's tough. It's tough to kind of get out from that mindset of wanting to always be there and protect her and keep her safe, kind of thing. I don't know. I'm sure every parent out there right now is like, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, that's natural. It happens. You'll learn," kind of thing. And me, I just feel like I'm, kind of putting her in a bubble almost. I don't know. And it's not that extreme, but it's tough. It's tough. One of those, I've heard stories from parents, saying it's tough watching your kids grow up. On one hand you're so proud, and the other it's, you know, they're growing like ever and ever further away from you. kind of thing, like less dependent, less needing of you. And you never really truly understand it until you are a parent. Because now I finally understand. It's like, wow, you know, like, for example, I took my daughter to a local park. It was, I don't know, maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, give or take. And there's this one part of the park itself where it's kind of got these little kind of, I'll call it a clover leaf stair. And what it is, it's basically two paddles on one end, like they're kind of opposite each other, right? And then two more paddles that are 90-degree turned from the first set and are about, I don't know, maybe a foot apart, kind of thing. So it's not like a straight shot to where you can just climb up it. You, like, if you're a bigger person or a bigger child, you can just grab the pole in the middle and just climb up. But she's, I mean, she's big for her age, but she's, still 2, so she doesn't have all that, all the coordination and whatnot. But she ended up climbing between the first set of paddles, and then once she could bring her head up, she climbed up on the second set, and then across the little gap between the paddle, pole, and the rest of the play gym, the little play set. And it was one of those moments where I was so proud to see her accomplish it, because she did it all by herself, didn't need me whatsoever. And then she continued to do it like a bajillion times afterwards. But it was just one of those, I was so proud to see her do it, but then, in the next breath I was really sad. It's like, oh, she didn't need my help anymore. So here's another one we've got to do all but, whoops, wrong button. Drop that, close that. There we go. Oh. Let's get that one little edge bit there. So I'll drive by that every single time, and that'll just drive me nuts. There we go. Now we're talking. Look out, sheep! Run! Run! No! You know what? It's gonna be one of those streams. One of those kind of streams where the cats threw us off. They threw us for a loop, and now we're on board for a party, kind of thing. You know, and everything's weird right now. We've had a really positive weekend, with the exception of, like I said, a 92 to 94% likelihood that I broke my toe on Saturday. Other than that, it's been a great weekend. And it's getting closer and closer to Christmas. For those probably don't know this, but I am a huge Christmas guy. I love Christmas. One of those that, see, I'm missing things. I don't really want to miss out on those plowed bits. Just, that's going to drive me nuts. Oh, and I'm missing some more. But yeah, love Christmas. Love being able to, do gifts with the family and hang out and, taking time away from work and all that stuff. It's awesome. And now that I'm a parent, it's like next level stuff, because now I get to see, like, my children have that kind of magic that Christmas can bring, Santa. And it was one of those, I recently was introduced to the lore of the elf on the shelf kind of thing. I had no idea. I just just thought it was this little doll that, you pretend was alive and, would kind of be all mischievous kind of thing. Which I thought was like, oh, that's kind of cute kind of thing. But I mean, there's this whole like lore behind it that I had no idea until recently. Like if you touch the elf, you make the elf sick kind of thing. And it was one of those kind of like, oh, that makes so much sense now, because I would sit there and wonder, it's like, well, why don't the kids just sit there and play with it? Why don't they just, just kind of do their own thing with it? And every year, because I've got two younger nieces right now, and one's, I think the oldest is almost 9.5 or 10. She's getting, she's getting to be about 10. And I was sitting there, it's like, well, why didn't she just go and play with the elf? Or why didn't she move it? Or I've never, every single Christmas for almost 10 years now, I've never seen her ever once touch it. And it finally hit me as to why when I saw this. I was like, oh, that's why, because you make the elf sick if you touch it. And it loses its magic. I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense now. So it's just one of those kind of aha moments that that come along in life. But I just, for some reason, just thought it was really funny when I finally realized that. When that finally just kind of dawned on me. But it's funny when we went up to Tennessee, we met up with some of my family up there, and we ended up doing like a kind of Christmas exchange. And one of the things I got for my daughter was one of the elves on the shelves kind of thing. And as soon as she opened it, it was one of those, okay, well, we're going to start setting it out in the cabin. And we did. We started setting it out everywhere in the cabin and just having a kind of a good old time with it. And that's when, I was reading the little pamphlet and realized, oh, and you can't touch it, you make it sick and all that stuff. And there's, a whole bunch of more lore behind it kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, well, that's really, like, really cute kind of thing. But no, now we're starting to get into the age with my daughter where she doesn't necessarily understand, the whole why it's happening yet. She doesn't understand the Santa. She understands that she had to go sit with Santa for photos and stuff like that, but she doesn't understand why. She just, who's this strange man and why am I sitting with them? Why is my mommy and daddy trying to pass me off to this person kind of thing? And of course, the last year's Christmas photo, she's sitting there just wailing, crying, because the Santa, took a hold of her, and it's not mommy and daddy. It's some random big bearded guy. So she freaked out. This year she did infinitely better. But she also, it was one of those, we tried to sit her down next to Santa, and she just got up and scooted away. Like, she would just try to run away from Santa this year. And so what happened is my wife and I, we ended up sitting in the photo with her and just did a big family photo with Santa. So it was one of those kind of, it was cute. It turned out really, really nice. But when we were in Tennessee and we were doing the gifts, she started understanding that, hey, if I open this pretty box, I get something. Now, it was kind of a 50-50 roll of the dice on whether or not she was more interested in the box itself versus the gift, but one of those that, we rolled that dice and we won some and lost some. I should say the family we were there with, because they got all the gifts for her, they won some and lost some. Oh my goodness. So we're just working really good here. We are mowing up this field. We've got 2 more fields after this one. let's see. So if we mow all this up, we get the ground state back to where hopefully after this the workers will recognize things. What I want to try and do is, normally when I windrow and get piles, what I do is I tend to first gather up all the outer periphery bits of the field. I gather them up and pull them in. I'm going to try something different this time. And I ended up doing it the last mowing I did on the new field that we bought across the street. Ooh, hiccup, sorry. In the new field that we bought across the street, where I just let the AI worker kind of plot up and down the field, and then I manually took over and did the periphery at the very end. And it seemed to work out very nicely, because then I was able to kind of get everything, in the neat rows that I want, but then at the same time not make it to where it was absurdly difficult to collect, kind of thing. So it was one of those that I was interested in trying it in here, because I don't know how the AI worker is going to work with these fields. Now, I'm hoping that the AI worker works a little bit nicer with these fields because of the hard border that Cavalier Roy has placed in on the fences, or on the hedges, I should say, not the fences. And I'm hoping that the AI will recognize it and kind of go from there. So I'm very, very interested to see how that works out. Because that'll be kind of a game changer, if at least for me personally. And there may be some people out there right now, it's like, Dave, don't be silly. That's how you're supposed to do it, or whatever. That's fine. That's fine. Never claim to be a genius, and never claim to know, everything there is to need to know about farming or anything, or this game, kind of thing. It's one of those, I take my best crack at it, and I do something, as I discover it and as it works, and kind of go from there. As I think a lot of people do. I don't think there's too many people out there who are going to go like so methodically into the simulation, where they're going to take every single step to make sure that it's, as accurate to real life as possible, kind of thing. Here's the thing. I'm sure there's some people out there that do it, but I don't know if it's like a lot of people. Because that's kind of half the fun with this game is, yeah, you're doing something that's, a simulation of real life, but you can have the bonus of not having to do everything as methodically as, say, a real farmer would. Get out of the way, sheep! That is one thing that I wish was a thing, or at least an option. I think this would be kind of cool, that if you were in the pens and pastures with your animals, doing like what I'm doing here, and let's say I hit one of the sheep, that it would actually like cause damage to the sheep. It would actually like remove them from the pen, kind of thing. Like, I think that would be kind of cool. It would kind of give a incentive as to not strike them, to not do anything with them, with your tractor and whatnot. It would be just, I don't know. And again, I could see that being like something that you can turn on and off. I just think that'd be kind of a cool little option. And it kind of reminds me of the Seasons mod from FS19. Because the Seasons mod from last game cycle, that one was set up entirely different than the Seasons in FS22. That one, like, you could do things like mow the grass and have the sun actually make hay. It wasn't that you were, oops, like you tending the grass was like stage one, and then the grass drying in the sun, that was stage two, kind of thing. And what was also really kind of cool about it was if it rained, throughout your mowing or whatever. Oh, I should get that little extra bit right there. If it rained, then it would basically revert it back to the previous state. It would go back to like stage two, and it would take like 3 stages to be able to be hay, kind of thing. If you didn't feed your animals for too long, they would die. They would end up going, you'd lose out on, oops. You'd end up losing out on animals, and it would just kind of deepen the simulation, kind of thing. I just think that would be one kind of cool aspect to add. See, here's another little area that I should plant and get back up to par, but it is what it is. It's not a huge deal. There we go. Perfect. Got that little outer bit there. So yeah, so far everything's working out really nice here. We've got 3 out, well, we're working on 3, but got 2 out of the 4 fields mowed. We need to then, we need to then collect all the grass, put it into the chemistry set. Once that's all said and done, I keep humming and hawing. I keep wondering if I should just go and make nothing but silage, or if I should do like the 50-50 like I was doing before. And I'm kind of leading towards silage. I'm thinking that will be kind of a better option. One other thing I need to do too is I need to get water for my production site, the laboratory there, because I could be making lime right now and I just haven't because I don't have water. But there is that lake that's just a little ways away from here, and I can get some water out of there. So I was discussing earlier about how, I've been doing a lot of shopping here lately, going out to the city, going out to malls and whatnot. I think I may have even mentioned this previously, but is it just me, or does it seem like there's like so many rude people out during this time of year? Like, just incredibly rude and selfish people. Like, give an example. I was out and about, it was yesterday. It was right after I had hurt my foot. And like I said, 92 to 94% sure that I broke my toe. But I was out and about at the mall, and I'd actually gone out by myself at this point because I had a couple last minute things I wanted to get for my wife. And I'm wandering around, and just the people are just like darting in front of you. Like, they don't have the time to be able to just dart in front of you. You like have to, like, I have to like suddenly stop. And again, I'm right side dominant. I busted or at least I think I busted the toe on my right foot. So when you're walking, it's one of those, you tend to use your dominant side when needing to do something quick, kind of thing. It just kind of happens naturally. Well, I'm coming to a stop, and I'm stopping on that bad foot, kind of thing. Well, I mean, obviously these people don't know that I'm hurt or anything like that, so I'm not marking that against them, but it's to the point to where they're like walking out so close in front of me that I have to literally jam on the brakes in order to make sure that I don't just run them over. And again, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in that ballpark, and almost 300 pounds. I'm a big boy. So big boy don't stop that easy. And then you put on a bad brake on top of that. There was a few times where, I tried to stop as suddenly as I possibly could, and there was one person that I actually, like, bumped into, like, fully, and they looked at me like I was the jerk, like I did something wrong. And it's like, you crossed out in front of me, kind of thing. It was mind-boggling. It's this time of year where we tell everyone to try to be unselfish, to give more than you get, kind of thing. And it's just, the reaction that I got in that specific instance just was bewildering. Now I get it. It's a stressful time. You got people that are trying to make, things perfect for others and whatnot, and it can be very, very stressful. I get it. But it's one of those, like, at least the way I was raised, I was always told, hey, this time of year, Santa's watching, kind of thing, so be on your best behavior, kind of thing. Well, it's not so much, now that I'm an adult, that Santa's watching, but it's just that kind of general mindset of, hey, you're always being watched, kind of thing. Whether you believe in, like, the afterlife or heaven, things like that, like, you always have to be accountable to somebody. Whether you believe it's a power greater than yourself or something. And it's one of those where it's often what drives, like, morality, and often drives that kind of sense of right and wrong, is that kind of notion of, being answerable to something larger than myself. Again, whether you think it's a higher power, whether you think it's, like, your parents, whatever the case may be. But that's often what keeps people on their best behaviors, is that kind of sense of, of morality and minding your P's and Q's and general courteousness to yourself and others, kind of thing. So I don't know, just again, just kind of got into one of those kind of deep thoughts of how people can act certain ways, and how people can treat others and whatnot. I don't know, I've been getting into a lot of that here lately, where I've been really kind of reflective of, one, how I, talk and interact with others. I always try to be as generous and respectful to others as possible. But then there's others that'll take the opposite approach. They'll be gruff or mean or, just flat out rude to others. And I don't understand it. I don't understand what is gained by taking that kind of approach. It's just kind of, I don't know. It kind of boils down to the whole, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar kind of thing. And it doesn't hurt to be nice to somebody. You know, it doesn't take anything away from the individual to show others kindness. Now, maybe that's the way I was raised, you know, maybe it's the kind of Midwestern, you know, boy coming out of me. I don't know. Who knows? You know, it's maybe small town kind of thing, and now that I'm in the city, it's still to this day kind of a culture shock. I don't know. What do you all think? What do you think? Is it just kind of the sign of the times? Is it a kind of city versus rural kind of thing? Is it what do you all think? I'm sure it's kind of a you know, a hodgepodge, a conglomerate of, you know, multiple different factors, but you know, I mean, also I think like the internet has a lot to do with it. Our obsession, our addiction to it, kind of thing. Um, the content that's consumed. You know, you get this very kind of selfish mindset um, from the whole kind of instant gratification that we get from the internet. Um, you know, everybody wants everything right this second, right now, and if you don't get it exactly when you want it, well then, you know, that's the end, kind of thing. It ends up being this huge rigmarole. I'm using all sorts of fun words tonight. Rigmarole, hodgepodge. Love it. Yeah, see, now we're starting to be able to use the worker again. Yep, turn right, swing left, perfect. Now we're talking, now we're cooking with gas. Let's see. Oh, I need to readjust without bumping my foot. Let's try that. I tell you what, I've broken bones before. I've actually, let's see, my left ankle twice, my right ankle twice, and my right thumb once. And it's weird because this one I think is by far the most painful one, and I think that's because this is the only one where I haven't been able to immobilize it, kind of thing. I can still move it around, and like, I don't have a cast on. Like, every single bone I broke, I've always had it in cast, or I've had, you know, some kind of protection over it and prevented me from moving it. But this one, you know, all they're going to tell me at the doctor is, well, just put your foot up and ice it. That's it. Well, I can do that without spending hundreds of dollars, thank you. So, one of those that, because I can't immobilize it, I can't, you know, protect it from getting bumped and whatnot, it's, you know, it's constantly getting either bumped into, or I'm shifting my weight onto it without realizing it, and then all of a sudden the sheer pain kicks in, and it's just, yeah, it's not fun. Not fun. But I will say, I don't know this personally, but I've spoken to many people who have done this. A broken rib is much worse. Is much worse. Because there is no getting comfortable. There is no relief from pain, because you're constantly breathing in and out, which means you're constantly putting force and pressures onto that bone that's been cracked or broken. It's not fun. Not fun whatsoever. Let's see. So we're just chugging along here. We're doing good. After this, we're going to windrow. Like I said, I'm going to try that different technique. I want to see if I windrow and let the AI worker kind of go at it first and then catch all the periphery, if they're going to be able to handle working in that confined spaces within the fields and all that that kind of walled off area between all the hedges. I want to see if they're going to know what to do, kind of thing. But only time will tell. We'll see. But yeah, I tell you what, I know I keep bouncing back and forth on the subjects tonight, but I'm still just so excited at how well the channel's done over the past couple of days. Like, I still can't believe it. Over 20 subscribers yesterday alone. I mean, that is just fantastic. That by itself. But then you throw in, almost 3,000 views yesterday by itself. Over almost 5,000 views over the past 48 hours. That's incredible. Like, for this channel, for the size of this channel, that's something that this channel has never done before, is get that kind of traction. And I'm just absolutely mind blown, just so thrilled that that's happened. But I mean, gonna keep it up, gonna keep going strong, and hopefully things work out. Like I said, it was definitely the Valley Springs update video that drove all of that traction that we had yesterday. So looking forward to see how we did today, because we like I said, we continued to grow throughout the day today as well. It's a weekend, so it makes sense that every weekend we tend to get influx of views and people. So it might have just been a perfect storm yesterday, to where it was a Saturday night, just a Saturday in general. I had loaded a very well received, very well liked map video, the update to Valley Spring. And I'm going to say it one more time. Valley Spring, beautiful, amazing map. Absolutely love it. It was an absolute treasure by itself before the update came out. That update came out, whole nother level. Like I said before, it was an 11 before. And anybody who knows the channel knows I grade on a scale of 0 to 5. So it's an 11. It's more than double the end of the scale. Kind of thing. It was up there. But then you throw in on top of it that new update, that just sent it to the moon and back again, kind of thing. It was incredible. And then made additional discoveries because of viewers of the channel. Puddles, again, I'll give you a shout out for letting me know about the modded animal husbandries. The modded ones work, but the base game ones don't. That's huge. And then I got another viewer of the channel that pointed out something to me earlier that I will be making one more additional information video on later on tonight, after we hop off of the stream here tonight. So that way that information's out there. And that has to do with the deactivating of the cars on that map. I would have never have guessed how to do it before. Would never have known. And then all of a sudden, just boop, there it is. There it is. Somebody discovered it and sent it to me and told me how to do it. I tested it right before I came on here tonight just to make sure, and sure enough, it works. And it's one of those, I was probably on that map yesterday and today probably a total of 35 to 45 minutes. And all I was doing was wandering around the shop, just Wander, wander, wander. Because in the description it says, walk into the shop, go to the right, and you'll see the trigger. This trigger will pop up. Unless I didn't read the description well enough, maybe that's what happened. But it was one of those that eventually that kind of kicked in and realized it once that person, and I'll give them the proper shout out that they deserve. I just don't have their name off the top of my head right now. But I would definitely be giving them the shout out and the credit for sending me this information in the video that I post later on tonight. So I will be definitely sharing that information as soon as it happens. Oh my goodness. There's that tickle coming back again. That's no good. There we go. Hit the mute button and give a good cough. Alright, so we are almost done with this field. That means mowing all 4 fields is done after this one. Let's take a look at something just real quick. So we still got, at least last I checked, 1 mowing contract, or yeah, 1 baling contract, and that was a hay. Ooh. So see, this is what kind of leaves me humming and hawing as to how I want to proceed. Do I want to use all this grass here at the farm to make silage, or do I want to do the 50-50 split, or at least close to 50-50 as I can get, and do some hay, some silage? That I think what I could and should do is take the hay from the chemistry set across the street and just take it to the sell point, and I can finish a contract and then load all the grass I get from that contract back in to replace it and just let it chug through it, kind of thing. I don't know. It's one of those, I'm really racking my brain as to how I want to proceed. The only problem is that the trailer I have only holds, what, like 30,000, 40,000 liters? I've got the TARDIS trailer, but I don't have the big, ridiculously large one. Yeah, 30,000 liters. So I've just got the one that'll hold 30,000, not the 150 or some ridiculous number that the TARDIS will hold. All right, one more pass. One more. There we go. Yeehaw. Getting a little overzealous with that joystick there. Now we're talking. Okay, so now that we've gotten all this done, let's raise this up. One thing I always like to see is that little cutter blade deck spinning. So what I wanted to see is this. So look at that, 78, 79, 79, 77. Fantastic. That's awesome. So now our score went from like a 50 to a 79. And we're going to get a 9% bonus for our payouts because of the environmental score. So that's awesome. That's just fantastic. We don't have to worry about kind of running on the margins kind of thing anymore. We actually get, something. And after mowing that, they remade the ground state, so I don't have to worry about the uneven ground, the lack of traction, any of that stuff anymore. So I'm really, really pleased. Now we get to finally test out what the windrower is going to do. There we go. Pop that there. Okay. Now this big old behemoth of a windrower. Okay. Open that. Look at that monster. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I think, I'll fire this up right here. Alright, let's see how this works. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm really hopeful that the worker's going to recognize that now there's actual obstructions in these barriers, in the hedges here, because we can't pass through them anymore. Kevlar Roy has done away with being able to pass right through these walls, through these hedges, in the most recent update of this map, and of all the maps that he's put out here with the most recent updates. So let's see what the worker does. Are they just going to smack into the wall? They're going to stop. Oh, they stopped. Okay. Now what is it going to do? Okay. Perfect. It's going to turn around. Big money, big money. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Drop down. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. Oh, that is so exciting. Because now what I can do is I can go around the whole outer edge after the worker is done and then draw in all that additional product out from the most outer periphery of each field into the center and make it just that much easier to pick up the product. Like, there's not going to be anything that I miss. There's not going to be just random bits just all over the place. Any giant high spots at the end of each row. I mean, it's going to be just there. It's going to be perfect. Like this, I cannot tell you. If you can't tell by the sound of my voice, I am thrilled right now. I am so stoked by this. Cavalier Roy, if you hear this, thank you so much for adding this, because and here's the thing, is that this update where Cavalier Roy put in the boundaries on the hedges absolutely affected the way the AI workers work on these fields. Absolutely affected it. And of course I'm going to miss just that little bit. Just a little bit right there. It absolutely affected the way the AI workers work. It actually detects a boundary. To whereas before, what was happening is that if the worker just so happened to come up to the edge of the field where the tree trunk that's in the middle of the hedge was directly in front of them, almost kind of like what it is right now, it would detect the tree and then would work to compensate for the tree. But if they were somewhere in the middle between the two trees, it would just try and drive right through the trees, like it wasn't there. So it's just one of those kind of weird, makes sense that the AI worker would do that, for as much sense as the AI worker does make on this sometimes. But yeah, it is just so glad that that they did this. Victor, hey, how's it going? How you doing tonight? Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. So yeah, the worker is doing so much better than it was before the update. In these animal fields, I should put that in there. They're doing so much better. I'm so pleased about this. So let's see. After we're done with the windrowing. We then need to grab the forage pickup. We need to grab the trailer, the brand new trailer that we just bought in the last episode, and start picking up all this grass. We're going to send it over to those green top silos over there. That's the chemistry set, chemistry lab over there. And we're going to start making silage. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I keep going back and forth. Should I do hay and silage, or should I just do silage? I think I'm just going to do silage. The acquisition in the last episode is it's just calling too hard to me right now. And I think that it would be a shame for me not to take advantage of that fully. And right now, I think we've got like 100,000 liters in silage in this. Yeah, 100,000 in this, and no methane. But in the process of making silage here, we can get methane and silage, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio from grass to silage, on top of the 30-liter bonus of methane. But then we can take the silage that we get here. It's going to be about 400,000 plus liters, I'm guessing. And then we can take it to here, the biogas plant. Let's deactivate that because we're just wasting money. And then we can get electricity, a ton more methane, and digestate. And as you can see, we've already got 12,000 liters of methane right now. 40,000, almost 50,000 liters of digestate. Like, that's incredible. And we're still producing more because we got all this cut sugar beet here. 34,000 liters of cut sugar beets. We're making electricity. We're making just a little bit of methane, just a little bit, and a little bit less of digestate. So, yeah, it's just one of those, you kind of get that kind of double dip. And be silly not to get that double dip in the methane. And right now, methane's just a byproduct. I could use methane to, make some liquid fertilizer. I could use the digestate and some slurry once I get some cows, to make liquid fertilizer right now. Methane, water. I can make some liquid fertilizer. I can make some solid fertilizer, again, once I get some cows and get some manure. Oh, and I'd get straw as a byproduct. Oh, shoot. I didn't even notice that. But see, let's see, you get 8. So you get 10 in and 6 out. That's actually still not a bad recipe, considering like most fertilizer productions, you get maybe a half or a quarter is what you get as your output. So it's like a 2-to-1 ratio or a 4-to-1 ratio kind of thing. This is actually like that's not bad. And then what's herbicide? Okay, so that's just a combination of the two. And you still get straw as a byproduct? That's awesome. This is wheat, herbicide, and water to make seeds, and that's a 1-to-1. This one is a 2-to-1, and you get salt. Like this is an awesome production point right here. This is absolutely awesome. You can take snow and make water as a 1-to-1 ratio. You can get slurry. Oh, I forgot about that. You can take solid manure and water and get slurry. Huh. And you can get your feeds. So, yeah. This is, This has got me thinking. Thought I smelled something burning. Oh, goodness. Let's see, so... Let's see how it handles this, because this is going to be... Okay, so we still got a little bit of extra space there around the edge. And this is actually going to work out perfectly, because now I can ride the absolute edge of this field. I'll get turned around, ride the edge, and then I'll just start making my whole lap around. I'll make maybe 1 or 2 laps around, and I'll have everything all swept in from the most outer edge of the map, or the most outer edge of the field, kind of thing. I think that's going to work out rather nicely. And again, some of you out there might be like, Dave, you didn't know this? Like, what are you doing, man? Get your stuff together. And I'm going to say, again, I don't claim to be a rocket scientist. I don't claim to be the smartest man alive. Sometimes I make mistakes. Mistakes were made. All right, let's try this. So now, got our nice pretty rows. Lower that down. Oh, come on. Freedom. Let me free. There we go. There we go. Okay, okay. This is going to be so much nicer. So much nicer. And as long as I can keep these corners yeah, see, I'm definitely going to have to make like 2 passes. There we go. Yeah, so you get those little bumps from the back and forths right there. Yeah, especially here, you can see I'm definitely going to have to make a second pass to catch all these kind of scraggly bits. Oh yeah, look at that. This is fantastic. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. We are just rocking and rolling here. Oh, oh, oh. Easy, easy, easy. There we go. No, come on. Let's not hash this all up right now. There we now we're talking. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Let's see, now I can just kind of gently pull this in just a little bit. See, that's just fantastic. This is working out so much better than I was hoping it would. Okay. Now I think all we have to do is get like this little part up to this corner here, and then we should be just golden. Yeah, see, look at that. Just that little bit right there. And then remerge it there. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, love it. All right. That worked out just absolutely fantastic. I couldn't have asked for a better result. So now, go in amongst the sheep. Like so. Now, I'm going to see if I can maybe something like this. There we go. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, now, there. Let the worker get back to work. Making the nice pretty rows. Let's see if it works just as good on this field. I have no reason to doubt that it's not going to work just like it did before. Yeah, see, look at that. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Love it. All right, and actually, while I'm thinking of it, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the channel members like I do for every live stream. So, starting with the Tier 2 members, thank you, Mark K, so much for being the Tier 2 channel member at the moment. I greatly, greatly appreciate you for being there. You are helping to support this channel for its sustainability and for its long-term growth. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you are interested in becoming a subscriber, not a subscriber, wow, little slip there. Or if you're interested in becoming a channel member, please check out the description in the, wow, why am I just all of a sudden messing all this up? Check out the description. There's a link below. And you can either become a Tier 1 channel member, which will give you early access to edited content, such as the Let's Play series, such as the channel shorts, as well as things as custom emojis, custom badges to let you know how long you've been a channel member for. Or you can become a Tier 2 channel member, and that will get you exactly what you just heard here. A nice shout out every single live stream that we do, and a deep heartfelt gratitude from me. I greatly appreciate everybody out there. Greatly appreciate anybody who's willing to help out with the channel. It is certainly not mandatory or anything like that. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, it helps with the sustainability and the potential growth for this channel and the things that we could potentially do in the future. So one of those that I specifically set up the memberships in such a way that they were not a exclusionary kind of thing. You don't get like exclusive content or anything like that, because I want to make sure that first and foremost this channel is for entertaining everybody who likes Farming Simulator, who likes the content, and wants to be able to come out here and just have a good time kind of thing. But one of those that if you want to show your appreciation, you want to show your support for the channel, that's one of the ways to be able to do it. So greatly appreciate anybody out there who is at minimum considered it. So want to give everybody also a special thank you for not only the recent subscribers here to the channel, but just full sentence stop, all my subscribers. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all so much. You help out this channel in so many different ways that you have no idea. So thank you all so very, very much. Greatly appreciate you. Let's see, so we're actually almost done with this field. For some reason, like, this field just doesn't feel as, or it feels as large as the other one, the cow pasture that's next to us there. But it's definitely not. I mean, it's shorter in length than the cow pasture, but maybe it's roughly the same width. I mean, I don't know, just... It almost looks like it's a little wider than this one, but this one's so much longer that it doesn't, just doesn't take as long to get through this one. Let's see. So, let's check out something just real quick. There we go. Perfect. So like I said at the beginning of the stream, if you are out there, go ahead and give yourself a shout out. Let me know that you're there. Unfortunately, YouTube does not give me any sort of roll call or anything like that, so I have no idea who's out there. So yeah, go ahead and give yourself a shout out. Say hi. You know, just let me know that you're there, and we can have ourselves a nice little chat going forward. Because, yeah, like I said, it's one of those... been an absolute fantastic weekend with one small hiccup, just a small one, you know, just a busted toe, but that's okay. But yeah, no, it's just getting so much closer and closer to Christmas. You know, it being only, you know, almost a week away. Here in about an hour, it'll be a week away. It's just been fantastic. Yeah, just really happy with how things are, just life in general. It's funny how life plays out sometimes. You know, if you would have asked me, you know, if you would have said, "Hey Dave, you know, 5 years ago, where would you see yourself?" You know, 5 years from 5 years ago. I would have never, not even considered saying live here on YouTube. Would have never have even thought of it. It's one of those where this wasn't something that was even in the consideration of doing. But I started getting into Farming Simulator, you know, back in 2019, not 2019, but back in Farming Simulator 19, and just kept playing and really enjoying it. Just really, like, this is almost an exclusive game that I play nowadays. Like, it's very rare that I play anything else, and that just goes to the testament of how good this game is, in my opinion. But after I started playing it and really was getting into it, then I started getting into the content of other streamers. I've mentioned before, Mr. Sealy P, Driver53, DJ Goham, just to name a few. Daggerwind is another. And seeing their content, seeing them do the things that they do, just really kind of inspired me to be like, you know what? I would like to do that. I would like to be able to just kind of kick back, make content, and then the eventual driving force, what finally made me decide this is what you're going to do. This is, these are the motivating factors, is seeing all the kind of political nonsense that has just creeped its way into everything that you see and interact with on an everyday basis. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm talking about movies, television, video games. It's like politics of one nature or another has just permeated into everything that's out there nowadays. And to me, it's personally disgusting. I don't want a political message when I go to fire up a video game. I don't want to be thought of as being a bad person when I go to play a sports game kind of thing. It's one of those that I just want to be entertained. I just want to watch my movie. I just want to play my game. I just want to turn on my television and not be preached to. Because something happened in the world today, and now everybody has to talk about it. Everybody has to have an opinion on it. And regardless of what the opinion is, you're wrong to half of the country kind of thing. And not only wrong, but oftentimes evil because of it. So it's one of those that, after seeing all the nonsense just leak into everything that was supposed to be just things I could just turn my brain off at the end of the day. Come home from work, kick back, take off my shoes, and relax. Well, no, now I've got to, deal with this stuff now. I've got to care. I've got to have an opinion kind of thing. And I don't want to necessarily have an opinion. I've got plenty of opinions. I just don't want to have it right this second. So it was with that in mind where it finally motivated me to create a channel that was for the entertainment factor kind of thing. It was to be able to come on, hang out with people, and just have fun. To be able to get back some semblance of what entertainment should and could be. And that's kind of where we're at now, is being able to just kick back, have fun, hang out with people who all have similar interests, a love for this game. Ooh, and I missed that one little bit right there. So yeah, it's one of those that when everything's said and done, I'm just so glad that I made this channel, that every single day I get to connect with people who just make this whole game and this experience and takes it to the next level kind of thing. So thank you all so very much for making that a possibility. Let's see, let's get this last little bit here. All right, I think, here, let's remerge this. so. Oops. Oh well. Alright, now on to the horse pasture. Let's get that all said and done. Now, the last time I spoke with Cavalier Roy, as I was mentioning, because there's the nav mesh for the animal pens and whatnot, that always takes priority as to what is actually planted in the ground. So you're always going to get grass here because of the nav mesh that's here. And based on what he was saying, I should expect kind of the similar yield sizes, regardless of the interventions that I put into any of these fields. So I'm guessing that I should see roughly around 400,000 liters, like 300,000, 400,000 liters worth of product when everything's said and done. Because that's about what I got out of it the last go round. So if I get something like that, then I'll know with 100% certainty that I won't need to fertilize these fields anymore. The only reason I'll need to fertilize these fields and lime these fields and do anything along those lines is simply for this, the environmental score. That's it. That's the only reason I'll need to do these, at least these 3 fields. This 4th field, on the other hand, this one I will have to maintain. This one I will have to do stuff with because this is a legitimate field. There's no nav mesh, there's no animals associated to this whatsoever. So I'll have to always, make sure and maintain that field. Okay. Let's get this one rocking and rolling. Let me think. Oops. So this one will just go kind of in this direction. Oof. That, you can tell that was a manual effort right there. Oof. That's way out of straight. Alright, so after all this is said and done, we're going to then go grab the forage pickup. We're going to pick up everything and go put it into the farm productions, or as I call it, the chemistry set, because of all the chemistry that we can do with it. And once we have all that said and done, we're going to turn everything on to silage and kind of go from there. I think that's going to be the best bet, because not only can we turn it into silage here, get methane for that effort. With this here, we'll be able to get silage and methane, a 1-to-1 plus the 30% as a byproduct for methane, but we'll also be able to get another dose of it here after processing it here. We'll get power, we'll get methane, and we'll get digestate. All those things, just fantastic. So I think that's going to work out rather nicely. And we'll be able to sell off all the methane, which will give us a fat paycheck. A very, very healthy paycheck. So I am really, really excited about getting all this kind of wrapped up and be good to go from this point. Oh, there's a horse. I tell you what, this horse is so difficult to find when you first come into the field, unless it is like high noon and bright, highly visible. If there's any sort of shade in this pen or pasture, this horse just blends in. I can't tell you the number of times I've had to walk around this pasture, the entirety of it, before I've actually found this horse hiding out. I will never have a dark colored horse like this ever again. I will either stick with the whites or the, you know, kind of speckled spotted ones so that it will like kind of stand out a little bit easier. But every single time I walk into this pen or pasture, I just have such issues. And that reminds me, do I need to... Nope, I already completed the riding for today. Perfect. That works out nicely. So yeah, the horse is actually doing really well right now. It's over $1,000 to buy the horse. Let's do this real quick because right here. So I can buy a horse for 500 bucks. So I've more than doubled my money right now. Not including the delivery fee. So as it stands right now, this horse has made me, you know, a tiny little profit. But I think if I'm not mistaken, you can get like 5-ish grand. Yeah, like 5-ish grand for a horse. So I'm gonna wait until it gets up there, and then I'm gonna sell it and start the whole process all over again. But I also need to get a hold of some root crops, and it's specifically the new root crops that we have access to, the parsnip, sugar beets, and carrots. Or no, I'm sorry, parsnip, red beets, and carrots. Those new ones are the ones that are accepted in the pens and pastures here. One thing I didn't bother checking, you know, this whole time is this screen here. I could have saved so much headache when doing one of my previous episodes where I was trying to take sugar beets and cut them into here. I could have just come here and be like, no, you can enter it, you can put in carrots, parsnips, and red beets. Those are the root crops. And I don't know why I didn't think of doing that before, but I didn't. For some reason, just completely spaced on that. And it would have saved me so much headache. So much headache if I would have just checked that screen. But at the same time, you know, I might have not have done any of the work for the sugar beets that I got now. I might have just skipped right over it, kind of thing. And then I'd been out all the sugar beets, and then I wouldn't be here where I am, you know, working with the chemistry set kind of thing, because it was basically the sugar beets and all that stuff that kind of led me to installing it, kind of thing. That's what really kind of motivated me into getting that specific production point, and it's actually worked out very, very well up until this point. So I'm really pleased about that. All right, we are making the second to final pass on this particular field. No, no, no. Oof. I am just batting 1,000 right here. Okay, now we're talking. Oh, oh, oh. Come on. There we go. There we go. Haha. Now we're talking. Oh, and holy cow, I'm sorry, but I have no idea how to pronounce your name. Hi, how are you? How are you? Like there, what's new? I am doing fantastic tonight. How are you doing tonight? Like I said, unfortunately, I'm not even going to begin to try and pronounce your name, or at least your username. So Is there something that I can address you by? Yeah, the things are going absolutely fantastic here tonight. We're just working here on the farm, just trying to get everything all taken care of so we can uh, be able to move on to the next episode, because all this stuff, we've shown this a few times here and there in the episodes, so kind of a good thing. And a new, hey, well, I greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Greatly appreciate that. So like I said, is there a username that I can call you by? Um, yeah, I'm sorry, but I have no idea what... I'm not even sure what language that is. I'll have to pop that into Google Translator later and figure out what that is. Well, let me, let's see, it's 11:36 here, so I'll do a timestamp and figure out what that says later. Like I said, hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Well, day, night, or evening. I'm not sure where exactly you're located. Let's see. Now we've got this last field here. Let's go ahead and open this up. This massive windrower. Jeepers creepers. It's amazing to think that this piece of machinery actually exists in real life. I know a lot of this stuff does. I know a lot of this equipment actually does exist in real life, but it's just bewildering, like, to think of the equipment that we have nowadays. Like, if you kind of think about, you know, and I've said this many times before, just kind of where things started, where things, you know, are today. You know, we used to do everything by hand, and then moved on to using animals, and then, you know, simple machines, and then, like, so on and so forth. Like, that kind of general progression, just in general, not just in farming, but just in general. You know, that slow movement of advancement in whatever industry that you're in. To look at this, to think that, you know, the internal combustion engine that's powering, or that would be powering this tractor in real life, is then putting out not only enough power to be able to push this tractor along, but it's also putting out enough power in the crankshaft to be able to spin all these, the amount of gears, the amount of cogs that you need in order to get all this stuff to do exactly what it's doing now, to have all the kind of the pivot joints, the U joints, the amount of engineering that's gone into the creation of just this windrower by itself. You know, this non-combustion powered windrower, something that's dependent on another thing's. Says it's Russian. You know, I wanted to assume that it was Russian, but I didn't want to just think that it was. Like I said, it's never good to assume things, and without being able to just stop the entire stream. It's like, you know what? Let me look up and see what this says. But no, like I said, I'm very grateful that you're a new subscriber to the channel. And Morath, I greatly appreciate you throwing that to Google Translate and let me know what language that was. Like I said, I had a suspicion that it was Russian. I had an old friend of mine growing up back in Michigan, where I grew up. His family was from Russia. His mother and father were originally from Russia. Spoke very, very little English. Some of the nicest people I'd ever met. But it was funny. And to this day, I don't know why. This is something that I remember to this day. he had a little sister, and this is back when I was in, I think, like 8th grade, somewhere in that ballpark. It was like just either before high school or at the beginning of high school, maybe ninth grade. Um, but he had a little sister, and she was maybe like 4 or 5, and he, as any older brother would pester her to no end, kind of thing. Well, he would always say this thing to her in Russian, and for the longest time I had no idea but he would always say it to her to get her to leave him alone, especially if we were hanging out. And it was I think it was Kasare Gatia. Kasare Gatia. And he would repeat this anytime she would come into the room, and she would start pestering us. And I finally asked him one day, it's like, yo, what is it that you're saying there? Because I have no clue. I don't speak Russian. I know da, niet, that's it. That's about all of the extent of Russian that I know. And he would always say this, and it's been like burned into my head because of how often he would say it. And I finally asked him, he's like, well, it's this kind of, the way he explained to me, it's like this Russian lore, and it's this Kasari Gatia is this like goat demon that would prey on little kids. And he'd always do this gesture with his hands where he'd hold up his 2 outer fingers and would shake them at her, kind of thing. And he's like, well, it's this goat demon, and whenever she pesters me, I always, basically say that the goat demon's gonna come get you if you don't leave me alone, kind of thing. So it was one of those kind of things, like I said, this is back in high school. I'm almost 40. Well, I am 40 years old now. And to this day, it's burned into my brain. Burned in there. And I haven't spoken to him probably in like 15 years, kind of thing. So it's funny, and the things that your brain will like hang on to over time, kind of thing. Like I said, that's something that I haven't thought of in years, but it's something I know I will never forget, kind of thing. So I don't know. It's funny to kind of think about like things like that. Some of the things that you hang on to from when you were younger, and things that are just seared into your memory for all of time, kind of things. And it's even funnier to think of not only things that are just seared into your brain like that, but things that you like that you don't like keep and retain that are actually of importance. Like there's times where I'll be talking to my wife or something like that, and she will tell me something, and it's for something later on in that week, and I completely forget about it by the next day, kind of thing. Oh, hey, we're supposed to go hang out with the family at the end of the week, kind of thing. And by the next day, it's gone. I've completely forgotten about it. And it's something of value. It's something of importance. I can remember Kasarigatia like it was yesterday, kind of thing, and him pestering his little sister with it. But I can't remember, my wife saying, "Hey, we're going to hang out with my sister on Friday," kind of thing, and she's telling me on Tuesday. It's just stunning how the mind works sometimes. All right, we are just about done with these fields. So very close. We just got to pick up everything after this. Gonna make one final lap with this windrower. This one should be a little bit more forgiving because there's no hard boundary, like for the most part. Okay, so we are good to go here. Oops, oops, oops. There we go. Drop this down. Yeah, look at that. I tell you what, I'm just this. So it was this field where I did this the first time. This specific method of, you know, having the worker do the kind of middle portion and then me worrying about the outer portion after the worker. Whereas before I did it in the exact opposite manner, the exact opposite. But it was just wild how it worked so well on this field. And once the AI or once the map was updated to include all the kind of hard boundaries within the hedges, that's when it kind of hit me. It's like, oh, I want to try this on all the fields. I want to try this. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't miss out those little straggly bits. Don't you do it. There we go. Now we're talking. So yeah, now we're... make sure I get all this. Yeah, see, I like how much cleaner it is. Like much much cleaner it is of a process, and I should be able to, like, I really think I'm going to see dramatic results when it comes to the picking up portion of this work. There we go. And I'm sure many people know and understand this. I doubt this is going to be newsflash to anybody. But if you're new to Farming Simulator, you know, one thing to do when you're mowing your grass, try and overhang just a bit. I mean, get out as far as you can into the outer grass of the field. Because when you're at this point with the windrower, you can drag all this outer grass back into the field and have it just be extra grass, extra product for you to be able to utilize. Even though you might not own that kind of outer boundary of the field, you can technically get a little bit extra. So just a little, you know, fun tip, you know, if you want to get just a little bit of extra product when you aren't necessarily supposed to be. And it especially works really good on contracts when you're doing work on fields and stuff like that. So it's, again, one of those where, you know, any time that you can kind of, I don't want to say manipulate the system, but anytime you can kind of get a little bit of something extra out of the deal, you know, works out really well. Let's see, can I get this without messing up that final? No, nope. Okay. Well, I might as well just drive straight through at this point. There we go. Alright, well that's going to be a big pile to pick up, but that's fine. Oh, I will take 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright, so sorry about that, but I am back. My wife came in and was getting ready to go to bed, so she wanted to wish me a good night. Oops, and I just dropped my headset. Let's try that all over again. There we go. Now we're talking. Alright, let's go ahead and put away this windrower, and after we put this away, we'll connect to the forage pickup and the trailer. We'll get everything all squirreled away. Okay, so here we are. There we go. Perfect. And now, spin around. Bam. And then the trailer. Perfect. Now we're talking. Oops, I got to... Okay, there we go. Okay, let's take this, drop it down, turn it on. Oh, nice. Look at that. And see, this is exactly why I absolutely love the Forge pickup. Like, this is just fantastic. And as we continue to grow, as we continue to upgrade and get bigger and better equipment, we'll be able to get bigger trailers, which means we'll be able to... Whoops. Like I said, we'll get bigger and bigger trailers. We'll be able to make less and less trips. And we'll just be able to kind of go like one big swap at a time and be able to, you know, get chunks of fields done rather than, you know, having to drive back and forth. But you figure the first trailer we had like room for 19,000 liters, you know, give or take. And now we're up to 30,500 liters. Like, that's pretty significant jump. You know, that's almost double the amount of room that we had before. But here we are, we're, you know, basically going to make half as many trips as we did the first time around. So it's one of those that every time you get to upgrade, every time you get to really kind of sink your teeth into some new equipment, bigger equipment, better equipment, it just makes those jobs just that much easier the next go around. Wow. Holy smokes. I wasn't expecting it to empty that fast. I mean, sweet? Oh, wait. Shoot. Almost forgot. Let's start making some silage. Down this way. Ha ha ha. See, this is why I love this this production point right here, is that 2,400 cycles at 100 liters per cycle, you're talking massive amounts of silage. 38 silage bales in 18 minutes. Loving the new balers. Oh, are you talking about the new fast bale? The upgraded fast bale? Like, those balers are absolutely ridiculous. Those fast bales, wow. Yes. Okay. Yep. That's what exactly I thought you were talking about. And didn't they just make an update here recently too, where it's under the weight limit, so you can actually move and pick up the bales, like by hand? I might be thinking of another mod or something, but I thought that was in one of the most recent updates. Is that it no longer is refrained to a weight limit. Yes, liftable. Oh, yeah, that one is an absolute beast of a baler. Love that one. I used that baler in my Let's Play series there on the Valley... No, not the Valley of the Old Farm. No, it was the Valley of the Old Farm. Yep, it was that one. Yeah, any time that you can find a mod that just helps decrease the time or helps. You know, it was really nice about that mod. What I really genuinely love about that one is not the bales, not the how fast it wraps or anything like that. It's the exaggerated width at which it can collect. That I absolutely love about that, because I'm really twitchy when it comes to the joystick kind of thing. So I'll sit there and make like minor adjustments rather than just trying to be as smooth on the stick as possible. And I can't tell you the number of times where I'm driving a baler around and I miss a little chunk here and a little chunk there. And unfortunately, the way my brain works is it doesn't allow me to just say, you know what, I don't need to worry about, grabbing that little chunk here, a little chunk there. I need to stop, back up, go get it, kind of thing. It's just, it's a sickness. Oh my goodness. But it's one of those that, I don't know, when I see just chunks of product sitting there, my brain starts sitting there thinking, oh, that's $5. That's an extra $5 that I could have access to, and I can, be $5 closer to the next, bit of equipment that I want. Which I know is silly. It's not a zero-sum game like that, but at the end of the day, chunks equal money, 100%. Yep. That's how my brain works. That's exactly how it is. It's that those little bits, like this little row right here, I might get, who knows, 100 liters. I wasn't paying attention as to where I started at, but there, I've got to pick it up. I got to. Because if I don't, I'm going to feel like I'm just leaving behind money. So why miss out on that? Why not take the extra second or two to make that pickup kind of thing? And it's just that much more exaggerated when you're bailing as well, because what often happens too is that if you've got one of the balers that aren't the fast baler or something like that, where it doesn't allow you to just keep on moving along like a square baler or the fast baler, then you're having to stop every single time you reach that fill limit on the round bales. So you're just increasing the number of stops you have to do, the number of downtime that you have. It just keeps going up and up and up. There we go, got that one. So you figure this is 90,000 liters so far. It's like 90,000, 91,500 is what should be in for 3 trailer loads. Grass is up here. There it is. Yeah, so it's chugging along. I mean, look how fast that silage is going up. And that's just chugging right along. And let's see, methane. We're already up to 274 liters. Like, that's incredible. Incredible. I cannot recommend that mod enough. That production point right there. It reminds me a lot of is it Omatana? I think it's Omatana's farm production barn that she made. It reminds me a lot of it, but I like that one just a bit more than the Omatana one, because one, you get additional products, you get a lot more of the kind of bonus byproducts than the Omatana one, and you get I'm pretty sure it's either on par or faster than the Omatana one. And like I said, you get all these various byproducts that you don't get anywhere else, like the road salt, like water. You can have a mod that's separate from this one that gives you snow to water. I've used that one on the what was it, Lands of La Mancha Let's Play. And I wish I would have remembered this during the winter months here, but I completely forgot that this one does water uh, from snow. Completely forgot about it. And I had this forage pickup, so it would have been perfect to be able to just go around the farm, pick up some snow, and go from there. I would have had free water at that point. Would have been easy peasy. But nope, completely forgot about it. But I tell you what, I'm not going to forget come next winter. Come next winter, I'm going to remember that, hey, I've got a production point. I can make water, and I don't have to go halfway across the map to be able to get to it. Because you figure, if I bring up the map, over to the right of field 17, down the very bottom of the map, that's where the water source, the natural water source is of this map. So it's not that it's like ridiculously far, but I could have water here at the farm. I could have. I didn't, but I could have. I tell you what, after getting the forage pickup here, I'm going to be able to pick up straw from the fields, which means I'm going to be able to get cows here very soon, because that's the one component I'm missing is straw, and I want to be able to make manure as well as slurry. I'm also missing mineral feed for the robot to be able to feed my cows, but you know, that'll come once I decide to kind of move on from this point. So we'll kind of figure that out as we go. There we go. Field number 1 done. Ugh, I tell you what, I am so happy with this new trailer. So happy. Now, I will say I am slightly disappointed. The previous trailer I had, the reason I picked that trailer was because it also worked as an auto load bale trailer, which I don't need because I have this. That was the whole reason why I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and just get rid of this because you don't need to do bales, kind of thing. And as long as I'm making product to be able to satisfy both hay and silage, I can use the product from here at the farm to be able to sell in the place of the bales, and then just come over and pick it up with like bring it over as grass kind of thing, bring it back to the farm rather than sell the actual product that's made on the field, and then just be good to go kind of thing. There we go. Another thing that I really like about this trailer, that some trailers work better than others with this. Whoa, hey, there's a post there. But some trailers work better than others with this particular forage pickup. But this one fills up 100%, you know, the full 30,000. And then you get an extra 500 liters in the spout of the forage pickup. But it's nice because I've had trailers maybe get 60% full, 70% full, and then the tracking on the forage pickup just stops working for some reason. I just can't figure out that, hey, there's a trailer behind me and that it's got plenty of room to be able to pick up more product kind of thing. This one is working perfectly. Like, I'm not having any issue whatsoever, and I love that. And the fact that you can have multiple trailers, and actually I only just realized this recently, but I'll show you something once once we get that picked up. So the TARDIS trailer used to be just this trailer here, where you could get it up to like 150,000 liters of product, I think. and a forage wagon that could get up to roughly the same amounts. But if we take a look at the buy menu, specifically the mods and DLCs, and look up the Lizard TARDIS, Lizard, where is it? There it is, Lizard TARDIS. Oh, and it used to be the water tank too. So it used to be this one originally. So the TARDIS XL and the TARDIS M in the forage wagons, and this one here, the trailer TARDIS and the trailer XL and the trailer TARDIS M. So you could have up to 200,000 liters of product in either of the wagons. But now they added these ones, so you could have 25,000 liters or 125,000 liters for a forage wagon. They also added this trailer here, which is up to 250,000, which this is actually larger than this one here. But they also had this one added later on, but you could have up to 200,000 liters of liquids, of any sort of liquids. But then they added this. This is what blew my mind. I didn't realize this until just recently. 250,000 liters for a harvester. And you have a harvester with a slightly faster header, up to 12 miles an hour. So that's awesome. Look at that. 250,000 liter capacity for a harvester. That's only $129,000. Like, that's amazing price, especially considering that it's not new. Us having harvesters that can work fast is not a new thing. We've had the Colossus for a while. This one here. Nope. There it is, the Colossus, where you can have like 1.25 million liters of storage capacity. But it's over 300,000 liters. And me personally, I'm not doing harvests that are 1.25 million liters in size that I'm going to need, kind of thing. But I could certainly do a harvest where I could use 250,000 liters worth of space at more than half the cost, or less than half the cost. Like, to me, that's just fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love that. Oops. I'm over at this field now. Oh, did I miss a chunk over here? Oh dear, money. See? 13 liters. 13 liters, but my brain's like money. Chunks equal money. I love it. You know what, Morath? That's, yeah. Chunks equal money. That's going to be one of my new favorite sayings going forward. And I can't wait to get my bacon. I can't wait. Love bacon. Like I said, we're gonna be besties from going forward. You bring bacon. You know what? I'm convinced. I'm 100% convinced about this. But if anybody wanted to kidnap me, wave some bacon in my face. I'll willingly hop into, like, who needs a van full of candy? Van full of bacon. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. You're gonna get full-blown adults just come climbing in, like, just screaming to that van, like, bacon, and just like not Night of the Living Dead, but modern version of the zombie movie where the zombies run. What was it, Zombieland? Is that the most recent one, or the kind of most recent one? It was Dawn of the Dead, the remake, where they went, running across the... You know what? And here's a good general question. Let me know what you think. I personally don't think that the zombies needed to run in order to be more scary, kind of thing. I think the slow, methodical zombies, like, were actually far more terrifying than the ones that'll run after you, kind of thing. And here's my reasoning. Here's my rationale. So, like I said before, I'm 40 years old, right? So I've lived through, Romano's Dawn of the Dead, the original. Not lived through it, but I've seen it. Um, yeah, I've seen the remake with the running zombies. I've seen oh goodness, what was the one that really just sparked it off? Was it Night of the Living Dead? Uh, like the old black and white version of it. Like, yeah, I've seen tons. I love horror movies, love zombie movies, kind of thing. Now, my rationale for the zombies not needing to run is more terrifying than the running zombies. Is that oftentimes the running zombies, yeah, the reason that you're terrified is you're terrified that you personally think, like sitting in the theater or sitting at home watching the movie, there's no way I'll be able to outrun said creature. And that's where the fear kind of sets in, kind of thing, is there's no way of me being able to outrun said thing. And which, yeah, that is scary. That is terrifying. I will agree. But what made the zombies so terrifying from like the slow, methodical ones is that those ones snuck up on you. Those ones were like every single movie that I've seen, even the games that I played, like the Left 4 Dead's kind of thing, is that the zombies were so loud. Like you knew where they were at always. You just had to be quiet, kind of thing. It's like the Quiet Place, like that movie there. Like that one didn't really like terrify me as much as anything. It's like, okay, well, I know how to be quiet, kind of thing. I know how to maybe to not to such a degree of that movie, kind of thing, or not A Quiet Place. Was it? Wait, was it A Quiet Place? It's the one with John Krasinski, and he's basically hiding out in the middle of nowhere, trying to be quiet all the time because of the monsters that can hear, like a pin drop, kind of thing. But anyways, like you could be just hanging out and just chilling in the middle of nowhere, and then all of a sudden the zombie is like right on top of you. Like that is far more terrifying. Is that you have to have your head on a constant swivel, and it's not even like you can sleep in peace, because unless you're like completely secured in where you're at, you can't sleep in peace because they'll just sneak up on you in the middle of the night, kind of thing. But as long as you're a light sleeper in the running zombies world, well then it's one of those where you'll hear them coming from a mile away as long as you're a light sleeper. I don't know. What do you all think? I mean, these are the kind of things that haunt me at night. In the made up world where zombies are a thing and there's slow zombies versus fast zombies, which ones are more terrifying to you? Like I said, that's like if you ever watched the original Dawn of the Dead, and that one is probably one of my more favorite zombie movies. The one where they hold up in the mall and whatnot. Um, you watch the zombies in that one, and the people will just be hanging out, and they'll have their guard down. They think that everything's fine and secure, and all of a sudden, it's like boom, there's a zombie right behind them, like grabbing them by the shoulder and getting ready to munch down on their neck, kind of thing. Let's see. Morath, you say fast. Okay. Like I said, that's my argument. I but again, it might be because I'm an old man, and that's certainly but again, it's one of those that I certainly understand why. Oh, money, money. Chunks, chunk eagle money. I don't know why. Holy smokes! Why did that just go rushing in my brain? for some reason, all of a sudden, the the Goonies just came into my head. I'm sitting here talking about zombie movies and fast versus slow, and all of a sudden I'm like, sloth, chunk. The Goonies just came rushing into my brain. I don't know. Let's see. Marath says, "I'm 60 years old, can't move that fast." So see, there you go. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like the 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 person watching the movie is like putting themselves into that situation of, I don't think I can outrun said creature. So no, that totally makes sense to me. Is, thinking that, okay, well, I'm in a world where the zombies exist, and all of a sudden I'm not able to outrun them, kind of thing. But like I said, it's one of those that I feel like as long as you're quiet, then it's going to be hard pressed to find you, kind of thing. It's like a never ending game of cat and mouse, kind of thing. And I think that's always where it seems like the people in those movies and the fast running zombie movies, they always seem to mess up, is they always make noise, or they're like the bull in the china shop kind of thing. And they're sitting there just, crash, bam, boom, sitting there shouting at the top of their lungs. Somebody gets mad, and now all of a sudden, oh, we got big mad, so we've got to voice our anger, kind of thing. It's like, I think there's more pressing things to worry about than you getting mad at some other person that's, wandering around this zombie apocalypse. I don't know. One of those where, again, likely I am way overthinking it, way like getting too into the weeds, but again, one of those where these are the kind of questions that keep me up at night. Because, and like I said, it's silly questions like that. I will get into these deep philosophical, moments of, well, gee, which one is more terrifying, kind of thing. But see, Marath, you're right there with me though, because you've possibly have seen these kind of movies too. Like the kids nowadays, they'll be like, "Wow, did I just make myself feel old right there?" Kids nowadays, but typically kids nowadays, they're like, things have to be so in your face, and I think that's ultimately where the fast running zombies came from. Is, oh, we've got to kick things up a notch. The slow methodical zombies aren't gonna hook the kids nowadays, because now we live in a world where every zombie movie is full of blood, guts, and gore. So we've got to be able to kind of get them into this fast-paced world. Again, going back to what I was saying earlier about the kind of instant gratification and the internet kind of thing. So, well, we can't have slow burn kind of movies anymore. We've got to have these things that are just so in your face, and everything's got to happen like boom, 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 that all of a sudden now that slow zombies are now fast zombies. Soon we're gonna have super zombies, to where they'll fly like Superman and spray laser beams out of their face, kind of thing, like Superman zombie version, kind of deal. I don't know. Let's see. Zombieland movies introduced fast zombies, then Walking Dead touched on it a bit. Was it Zombieland, or was it the remake of Dawn of the Dead? Because I remember Dawn of the Dead having running zombies. There's the iconic scene at the very end of the movie where they get onto the island, and they just assume that there's no way that zombies are going to be able to come onto an island, because it's an island, it's surrounded by water, and they take the boat, they get on the shore, and then all of a sudden they just show all the zombies just flooding onto the shore. I don't know, I might be wrong about that. I don't remember which came first. Now I guess we're on to the whole chicken and egg conundrum. Which came first, the Zombieland or the remake of what was it, George R. Romano? I think that was the director's name, George R. Romano's Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead may have come. Okay, it's gonna be again. It's gonna be one of the whoa, easy, easy. There we go. Just slide it on in there, I guess. One of those that again, it's one of those kind of questions that comes up in my day-to-day life where I'll be like, you know what? I've got to know the answer to that question. So more than likely what's going to end up happening is after this stream's done and before I get going on to the Bally Springs additional information, I'm going to go ahead and be like, okay, which one came out first? And again, it's just my brain won't quiet down until I'll be sitting there laying in bed and oop, hey, easy. What is going on here? I'll be sitting there laying in bed. It's like, okay, which one came first? George R. Romano or Zombieland? And I'll just be humming and hawing back and forth. Now, not exactly that specific scenario because IMDb is a great thing. Where did I leave off? I think I'm over here. Yep, there it is. We almost got everything all said and done, and once everything's all picked up, then we'll kind of see where we landed in the whole amounts that were picked up. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look. Where are we right now? 329,000. Okay. So yeah, 329. So it's, oh, man, it is gonna be close. It's gonna be close, and I think Cavalier Roy. No, wait. My whole test is wrong. My whole test is wrong. Just dawned on me. I improved the yield of this field. So I'm getting more product from this field than I did in my original kind of go through. So I may have gotten or I may have gotten the same product from the 3 fields that don't have the effects put to them, but this one's going to throw off my scale. So I might get over the 400,000 liter limit, or the 400,000 liter mark. Words are hard, but it's because of this field and it actually accepting the fertilizer, lime, and all the other stuff that I've done to it. So, well, the test is kind of moot at this point, so it is what it is. This is going to get me up to 350,000. Okay, so yeah, I think we're gonna get over the 400,000 mark, and actually probably have already gotten over the 400,000 mark because I've been producing silage up until this point. So I don't know how much I produced so far, but if I'm sitting here producing it, I quite possibly have already gone over the 400,000 mark. Oh, hey. There's collisions and hedges now. I've been saying this the whole stream. Collisions are now a thing. They exist. Oh, wait. I need to start down here. You know what? Let me act like a professional and pretend I actually meant to do that. So, just to illustrate, there are collisions. Just so you all know, I've been saying it this whole time, but let me make sure. I can't. That's not me. And as I've mentioned on many other streams, as the night wears on, as it gets later and later into the evening, or into the morning, I should say, as you can very obviously tell, I get a little silly as the night moves on, and that kind of tired spell sets in. So, yeah. From what I have been told, Tired Dave is Fun Dave. There we go. So we got, what, 3 more? Well, 2 and a partial. So yeah, this is working out splendidly. Splendidly. I really think I'm going to plant grass in those little areas there. I don't think I have a cedar yet, though, do I? You know, here's a question. If anybody's out there, that knows the answer to this. So, I know that you can set up products that are outgoing to either storing, selling, or distributing. And at the top of each hour, it'll do whatever it is that you tell it to do. But my question is specifically on the distribution of various products. Now, the question is, if I have methane here in the outgoing of what I've been calling the chemistry set here, and I set it to distributing, at the top of the hour, will it distribute to the biogas plant even with this being an outgoing product? I think it has to be an incoming product in order to distribute out. So it goes from like outs to ins is what I think. I don't think it goes from like outs to outs kind of thing. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, um, because that might be something that I end up starting to do. Is that if it can go outs to outs, it might just be worth testing one of these days. I don't know. And at the top of the hour, if it distributes, it distributes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not like it runs away anywhere. It doesn't, like, disappear. One thing that I wish that... Chunks! Chunks! One thing that I wish would happen with regards to... Oh goodness, what was I going to say? I had it and I lost it. Oh, that's what it was. In regards to distributing products, having it automatically distribute for you, what I wish would happen is it seems like only a percentage of products that you have in your storing, or in this case, if you're trying to distribute, only a percentage of the product gets distributed out. Which, I mean, it kind of makes sense. You figure it's basically simulating like the game taking one truckload at a time, or a percentage of the product there is like a simulation of a truckload at a time kind of thing. But I wish it would take all the product and put it in rather than a percentage of it, because inevitably you always end up with a small amount left over that doesn't get distributed. So, case in point, I've got, I think, 17 liters worth of sugar beets cut over in my chemistry lab. And it's one of those that, unless I were to take it out and manually deliver it like myself, it's always going to stay there. It's eventually not able to get that percentage high enough to where it's going to distribute out, kind of thing. So it'll never ever get to zero. And it's just kind of an annoyance. Let's see what we got here. Nope, meant to go up. There we go. So 411,000 liters right now. And we've been producing silage up until this point. So fantastic. Absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and park this trailer back here. And I can tell you with certainty that, whoops, this definitely took a lot less time with the 30,000 liter trailer than it did with the 19,000 liter trailer. That extra 10,000 liters helped out a ton. Let's see, but I think we're good at this point, because let's see. Yeah, look at that. Got over almost 2,000 liters. We're approaching 2,000 liters of methane. We've got 111,000 liters of silage. This is just chugging along. Like, this is fantastic. I'm absolutely loving this. And one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to set this to distribute, because this is going to make me a ton of money. A ton of money. And I don't need, quote unquote, I don't need silage for anything around here at the farm. I've got the cows pretty much fed for the time being. Whenever I get cows, I've got what, like 70 or 80,000 liters? Yeah, 88,000 liters of silage here. I need straw. I need mineral feed to be able to have the robot feeder feed my animals on the top of the hour. But other than that, it's good to go. And 70,000 liters or 88,000 liters of silage plus, what is that, 72,000 liters of hay. I mean, that's roughly, I don't know, it's like 150,000 liters of product right there, plus whatever I put in here with straw, plus whatever I put in with mineral feed. All that's going to add up really, really quickly, and it's going to be like good to go. Like, we're going to have cows fed and happy for a while. Just like our sheep right now, we've got like 150,000 liters of hay in here, 140,000. We've had sheep for several months so far, and have barely gone through even a small percentage of this. And we've got 115 sheep. Speaking of which, and they're 20% through the reproduction cycle, so they're going to be reproducing here soon. Then we're going to have over 200, well, we'll have 230 sheep, so that's going to work out really good. Let's see, our horse is still going through puberty, so what I might end up doing, that's not a bad idea. What I might end up doing is, when the horse gives birth to the next set of young, I'll keep that horse, and then, actually no, because I don't want another brown horse, and that's what's going to happen. It's just going to keep producing brown horses. Yeah, see, I'd be fine with a gray, a pinto, maybe even the palomino. I'd be okay with that because it's so light. I think we went with the bay. Yeah, we went with the bay. And it's just so dark that it's hard to find. Same thing, I think I'd have the same issue with the chestnut. Definitely have an issue with the black. Same thing with the brown seal, but with the white hooves, it might be easier to spot. And I think the dun maybe would be okay, because of how light the brown is. I don't know. So maybe the brown seal, or seal brown, but that would be kind of a meh. I think that'd be the least optimal one. I think the palomino, pinto, and gray will be the ones I'll go with in the future. So I think I'll just wait for that one to get up to selling price and just sell it off and buy another one. But yeah, I think that leaves us in a really good spot. We got everything all said and done now. We've got everything up to snuff. 9% sales price, so that's going to play a huge factor once we sell off all the methane that we're going to produce, and we're going to produce a ton of methane, because holy smokes. You figure we're producing 30 liters of methane per cycle. So per 100 liters of grass, we're getting 30 liters of methane. We're getting that here and now in this process using this production. But then we go up to the actual biogas. Well, we're getting significantly higher amounts. For every 8,484 liters of silage, we're going to get 5,884 liters of methane. That's ridiculous, the amounts of methane compared to the one here at the farm. But you figure this is basically free methane. This one here is free. That's why we're going through the process of making it here and then going to sell it, or not sell it, but move it and process it through here as well. It's going to be well worth the extra time it's going to take to make this into silage, instead of like having the bunker silo like we had here originally and just letting it go 48, well, not 48 hours, but technically 2 months, and then just boom, it all is done at once. But I mean, really, we might even churn through all this grass even before the 48 hour mark. Or I keep saying 48 hours, like 2 days. No, it's 2 months, 2 in-game months. But sorry, I had a cough there. But yeah, I think that's going to be a good place to leave the live stream. I greatly appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out tonight. Had a fantastic time hanging out with everybody. But I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. That shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care.